welcome to the Koalafied Gamer Guys podcast. I'll be your host today. My name's Steve, and with me is Neil. How you doing, Neil?
I'm doing pretty good, Steve. How are you doing?
Are you ready for a huge week of news, Neil? Are you ready, Neil?
Oh, I'm ready. I don't know if anyone else is ready.
I'm going to see how many times I can fit the word Neil into today's podcast, because I think I'm on at least 7 already.
I will not stop you.
All right, Neil. So we're going to start with our favorite segment, which is This Week in Video Game Release History. And again, just a quick explanation. This is just we go back in time, physically go back in time, to find out which games came out this week, in years past. So this is for the week of February 9th to the 15th. And the game we chose was Mario Kart 64, which came out February 10th, 1997. A fantastic game, which I'm sure almost every single one of the listeners will have played. And let me ask you, Neil, what's your character in 64?
Oh, it's Yoshi. It's Yoshi for every Nintendo game.
Yoshi for every Nintendo game, really? Well, why is that?
Except Super Smash, I should say. I don't know. Yoshi, he's just the man. He's the turtle dinosaur thing.
Good explanation. You know what his full name is?
Oh, they released it not that long ago, and it was something crazy. I don't know it, though.
Yoshi Munchakoops. He's munching Koopas.
Yeah, it's so much better.
I actually took the other route. I'm Peach in every Mario game. Like in Mario Party and Mario Kart, I've always been Peach. And it started in Mario Kart 64. And actually, I'd like to treat you to a Peach in Mario Kart 64 impression, if you will. Okay.
Oh my god.
So I'll start with when she gets a mushroom, she goes, "Here we go." And when she hits the one with a shell, she goes, "Bingo, bye bye." I've had a lot of experience doing this, so I think they've gotten pretty good.
Well, you know what it sounds like to me is that you just have one of those radio talk show buttons where you just hit the button for the sound effects. That's
it's really good, isn't it?
That's how on point that was.
I've used them for years, and I have a couple. When you get the win, she goes choo-choo. You know that when she's the winner. Oh, man.
Did you start out that good at that, or was it was terrible and you just practiced in the mirror?
No, what I would do is like I would start mimicking it as she says it, because when I get pumped up and I get like 3 mushrooms, and I just get excited. So I'd be like, bingo, bye bye.
Oh my god. well, I'm glad that you can do that.
Yeah, well, and there's a couple other characters in there, but they're not as good. But yeah, my Peach impression, it lives in infamy.
So let me ask you, is this your favorite Mario Kart, or do you like the ones today more?
64 is great. It's obviously the one I played the most because I still played it all through college with my friends and all that. But I think my favorite Mario Kart's probably 8, the newest one. Just
8? Oh my god, that's I didn't know. I literally thought it was on like 4 or 5.
No. Well, I can take you through them if you'd like.
I would not like that.
Well, Neil, you're gonna like it. You got Super Nintendo, and you got 64. That's 2. Then you got Double Dash, which is 3. Then you had Advanced, which is 4. Then you have DS, which is 5. Wii, which is 6. 3DS, which is 7, and Wii U, which is 8. So, 64 being the second in the series. It's actually, looking back, it didn't score that great. Like, GameStop, or it was all over the place. Like, IGN gave it an 8.1, but GameStop gave it a 6. So, GameSpot. I don't know if I said stop. Did I say stop?
I'm not sure if you did, but I confuse all the time. It's hard to compare review scores for stuff like that, because you never know how it's going to do down the line.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't like a revolutionary, because I think there was a lot of kart games out back then.
Oh yeah, that was like the age of kart games.
Yeah, so it wasn't like, I'm sure they're like, oh, it didn't have enough features here or something like that. But then it's just the one everyone plays, so it's still the funnest game. Like, even if you're playing a bad game with friends, it's still fun.
It's still fun, and it's some in the dorm room you find an N64, and everyone played Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, and then so it's just an accessible game. Even though Mario Kart 64 is one of the harder ones.
It's really hard. Like
It's tough.
When I'm like used to playing like 8 and I go back to that, I always am terrible. I'm off the track. I'm embarrassed.
And I think I'm best at 64 because it's one I've played the most, and I haven't played the other ones.
Yeah,
Clearly, I don't know how many exist. And so whenever I play it with people, I don't know. I do pretty well. I know like some of the shortcuts, like in the stadium, you can like jump over the wall and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you're one of those guys.
I am one of those guys, and some people take it way too seriously. I know.
I take it way too seriously.
My friends, my older brother and his friends, they have all these other rules between them that like if someone has a star power, you can't use a lightning because it's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one of my friends did it not knowing that was the rule, and just one of the guys just put his controller down and just like for 20 minutes ranted about why you can't do that and like just how wrong and absurd it is, and just never like refused to play anymore.
Really?
Yeah, like he's the kind who will like, I was playing FIFA one time with him and I scored in the first like minute, and he just turned the system off and turned it back on. He's like, no, we're going again. He's that kind of guy.
Ridiculous.
Yep.
It's just some fun facts I read about it as we were getting up for it. It was intended to be a launch game for the 64, but they had to take people off of it to finish Super Mario 64, which I guess was a good idea, considering that game is, legendary.
Yeah.
It was originally supposed to feature Magic Koopa. He's the Koopa with the wand. But he was replaced in the last month of development with Donkey Kong. And Magic Koopa actually has not appeared in a Mario Kart game ever. So
I don't even know who that is.
Magic Koopa, he's the wizard. He's got a blue cape on and a wizard's hat, and he owns a wand.
Does he look like... I got that from the wizard.
Not Harry Potter. He's not Harry Potter.
Does he look like a toad of some sort?
Yeah, he's like a flying Koopa. He's one of the turtles.
Okay.
And the last fun fact is it's the second best overall selling game on the N64, which is pretty. It's pretty, I mean, I'm guessing number one is 64 because that was the pack-in.
Oh, you didn't look up the first one, but you looked up the second one.
I didn't. Well, I didn't look it up. It was on the Wikipedia page.
Oh, so. I got you. Okay.
So yeah, Mario Kart 64 for the Nintendo 64. Fantastic game.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever play Diddy Kong?
Diddy Kong is a great game, yes.
Did you?
I loved the planes in Diddy Kong. Continue.
Would you say it's better than Mario Kart 64?
I would not say it's better than Mario Kart 64. Just because I feel like it's trying to be all over the place. Like, it's a good game, but, you get nostalgic for 64. You never go back and be like, oh, I wish I could play Diddy Kong.
I do all the time. I prefer it over Mario Kart. I love it.
I have Diddy Kong, so if we ever see each other again, we could play it.
Yeah. If we ever see each other again, which will never happen.
We're currently saying to our listeners, all of our loyal listeners, that me and Neil are never together when we record these. We are miles away. So Mario Kart 64 it's a great game. Came out, what was that, 18 years ago today, when this is February 10. Well, I'm an engineer, so.
You are indeed, and that just proved it right there.
So, on to new releases. Neil, tell me about some of these, because I know you're excited about one of them.
I'm real excited, and I left one off the list, actually, I'm realizing. So let me see if you can hold on tight for this one, Steve.
Okay.
It's called Jungle Rumble, Freedom, Happiness, and Bananas. And let me tell you how excited I am for this game.
What is this out on?
It's coming to the DS.
The DS.
The PS Vita. The PS Vita. But it was originally a iOS game, so it's one of those types of games. Let me just read you the description here.
Okay, I'd love that.
Jungle Rumble is a rhythm game like the world has never seen. A rival tribe invades to steal your bananas. Drum on the screen to send monkey minions into the fight. Send your tribe on an epic quest for freedom, happiness, and bananas.
It sounds like it's got more story than Destiny.
It's probably going to be Game of the Year, let's be real.
Go TY of 2015. Jumbo Rumble, Freedom, Happiness, and Bananas. I'll play it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to get my phone out right now and download it. But on to the real releases.
Okay.
I'll start with Chivalry Medieval Warfare, which is already on Xbox and PC. I know it's like a mod from Chivalry, which is just a game in itself.
Mm-hmm.
and it's essentially a take on Modern Warfare, like first-person shooters.
Yeah, it's like the Skyrim combat
Yeah,
first-person multiplayer game, correct?
yeah, that's exactly what it is, and it's coming to the PS3. I think it was supposed to come a long time ago, and they're kind of just getting around to finally getting it.
Yeah, because it's been out for the 360 and the PC for a while.
I
Right?
think it would do a lot better if it ended up on the PS4 because I know it's still a
Yeah.
popular game. A lot of people on the PC play, and I don't know if it's going to do that well on the PS3. It could. I mean, a lot of people have it still, but
Yeah.
I think it's gonna. It's still popular enough where it could have come out on the PS4.
Well, I agree. So it'll be interesting to see how well it does, and I just think that we're to the point now where the PS3 is kind of dead. You know?
And it's dying quickly. Like I think we've talked about this before that from the PS2 to the PS3, the PS2 hung around a lot longer, and I feel like the PS3 is being.
I think it's going all the way. Yeah, it's going away very quickly. So
like a lot faster than I would expect it to. But I'm not complaining. I mean, I have a PS4. I want more games for the PS4.
The quicker people ignore the PS3, the more I personally gain. So I'm happy about it. So, all right. Well, that sounds interesting. Not something we'll be playing because we don't. You own a PS3. But
but it's.
I don't think you'll go back for it.
Nah, not for that one. It's no Suikoden 2. Let me tell you.
Oh, Suikoden 2.
Just get that into as many podcasts as I possibly can.
Play Suikoden 2, guys, because I'm not going to. All right. What do we got next?
All right. So there's this game that you might have heard of, most likely not, called Unmechanical. And the extended edition is coming to the PS4, PS3, and the Vita. And
they extended it before I even had a chance to hear the first one. So
the first one, it was like a PC Steam game, and it's basically a 2D puzzler. They call it a 2D 2.5D. So it's
I'm aware.
Oh, okay. You know,
I've been around the block.
Okay, so it's one of those games, just a little puzzler. So it was successful on Steam, so they'll bring it to all the consoles. Mm-hmm. And if you're into those puzzler type of two-dimensional games, then you should probably pick it up. I'm not
either, but I remember I played Fez for about 2 minutes, and I was like, this is dumb.
I was so let down by a game that like apparently is just like the ultimate indie game besides Braid, and
Limbo.
Limbo is like whatever.
I loved Limbo.
Limbo is a lot better than Fez. Fez was literally just searching around for blocks the whole time.
Yeah, Fez sucked.
Like it had a really cool mechanic, I get it, and I can't imagine making that game.
You know who had a better mechanic was Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, which pretty much did the same thing, but was 100 times better.
It was 100. Okay, I thought you were gonna say Jungle Rumble, Freedom, Bananas, and Happiness. Freedom, Happiness, and Bananas. Excuse me.
Freedom, Happiness, and Bananas. Oh man. All right. Well, that sounds interesting, and well, not really. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think it sounds interesting at all. It's exactly what you think it's gonna be. It's just they're taking a game that was successful. They probably got more money, and like, hey, now it's popular. So let's port it.
PS4. Yeah.
Let's put it on the other systems that more people can play it.
Well, whatever. Well, if that's your thing, enjoy it. It's not our thing. Never will be our thing. Get off our backs. We gotta get the monkey off our back, Neil. You know what I mean? Like Jungle Rumble, Freedom, Happiness, and Bananas.
Oh man, I think we referenced it too much. All right, go on.
All right, so in more exciting news, Super Stardust Ultra is releasing on the PS4 tomorrow, or today rather, February 10th, which is exciting. It's a great game, but it's a little not exciting, if that was great grammar, because
strong.
because it's not cross-buy. Like, I bought Super Stardust Ultra on the PS3, and I don't get it for my PS4.
Well, they don't want you to. They want you to buy it again.
No, screw them. I'm not buying it again.
So I want to make sure this is the right game I'm thinking of. It is by the same people who did Resogon.
House Marquee.
House Marquee, that's it. And way back when Sony got hacked, which happens a lot.
Yes.
And this was one of the free games that they gave you an option of getting as like an apology, right?
Yep.
So I didn't purchase the game. I selected that this was the game I wanted to choose, but it somehow, and this always happens to me, it somehow gets lost between getting it in my cart or confirming the purchase and getting it to my download list. And I've never been able to download this game.
Really?
And if I go back to it, it says I have to buy it. So I don't know if I timed out. So I've never played this game, even though I wasted a free selection on it too. I couldn't go back
Yeah,
and select another game. So that
that's
sucked for me. So I don't want to play this game, even though I know people say it's really, really fun.
it
But
is fun, and you like Resogun, and I like it more than Resogun actually. I like the spherical action to it, so
but
it's a good
my
game.
guess is in half a year it's going to be
Yeah, it'll be
free.
a
You
free
know what I
game.
mean? It's
Yeah,
it's a typical
absolutely.
free game.
It's got PS Plus written all
Oh
over it.
yeah.
So I got a little trivia question for you, Neil.
Okay.
What was notable about Super Stardust HD on the PS3?
No, that it was a spherical nature that you could run around the whole way.
Incorrect. It was the first game to feature trophies.
Really?
Yep, first game to feature trophies. I bought it just for that reason, and that's how they got a lot of their sales because people were like, "Hey, like trophies got added to the PS3. Let's check out what's going on with them." The only game that supports them is Super Stardust HD. So
I'm still not even big into the trophies. It took me The Last of Us was the first game I platinumed.
yeah, and then we also platinumed
Need for
the
Speed.
Need for Speed for no reason.
The greatest game of all time, which I really wish I could still play it right now.
Yeah, well, you could have bought it for $12 about a
Yeah.
couple. You know,
And like I looked recently, it's back up to like $30. I'm not about to pay
yeah,
that for it, but
I'll probably get it from GameStop when it's $2 in a couple years. It's a
yeah.
fun game.
It's just a fun game that you can't take seriously and don't pay a lot of money for. But
Mm.
pay a little money for and it's a lot of fun.
We had fun. That's all that matters. Let's move on to the big one, Neil.
Okay.
Evolve comes out.
It does indeed.
We're playing
Tomorrow.
on, yeah, or today.
Or
when this
today.
comes
When
out.
let's just say Tuesday the 10th. You're
Tuesday the
listening.
10th. We're planning on playing this.
We are indeed.
We
Whether
won't be streaming this until Wednesday because Steve's got some shit to take care of.
he does indeed, he's got to be
But
a real person.
but Neil will be, I guess, playing it Tuesday night, February 10th. So you guys should tune in if you're listening to this and that hasn't passed yet. So
I do. Yeah, I do. It's probably going to be a little bit later, but I absolutely am going to play it. I've played the beta. I've told you my thoughts. Listen to the first podcast to hear those thoughts as well, but I'm looking
yeah,
forward to
call
it.
back.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun co-op wise with me and you, but I'm starting to get a little worried about it. And I think you are too.
I'm very worried about it.
So
And that's
so tell
something
me your fears.
Well, all right. We'll discuss most of the fears in the news in a little
Okay.
bit. But my major fear is just I hear it's super, super repetitive. Like, there's just not enough variety in the games. And basically, if you don't have four people working together, then like the games just become so repetitive because they all just turn into like a chase, pretty much.
Yeah.
The monster sees you, turns around, and like all four people are just together. There's no like flanking or anything. So I'll see. I mean, I'm a little concerned. Early returns weren't that great. It's from the early reviews I've seen. It's gotten like an 8. So I don't know. I'm obviously still getting it, but I'm a little worried, Neil. What about you?
I think you're spot on with it. I think it's going to be just what you said. That it's going to be really fun. It's going to be with us playing and going after like you'll get in a good game. But I played games where you just run around for probably 10 minutes, just chasing the monster, and then he
Yeah.
just like levels up. Like it's nonstop. It's still tense. Like it's hard to say that just running around for 10 minutes isn't boring. But
Yeah.
at any corner he could be there. So it is kind of like nerve wracking. You're always like ready to fight him.
I can see that.
And what happens a lot of time is you will see a glimpse of him, and so you'll get really excited, and everyone will try to like shoot trank darts into him or like throw the arena. So like you try to catch him, and sometimes you miss. So it is a little tense, but a lot of times you will just run around doing nothing, and then he'll level all the way up, and then he'll come and fight you. And then a lot of the times the fight, based off how good your party is, could last a couple minutes. Sometimes it lasts like 30 seconds. And so if you're running on for 10 minutes and then your party actually sucks and you just die right away, it feels like the biggest waste of time.
Yeah, that's some. I just feel like I'm gonna be wasting my time playing it. But a couple of the game modes sound pretty interesting, so I'm hoping that it'll keep it going. So
I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're
I
going
think
to have a lot of
together
fun with
we'll
it.
have a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think it's going to be one of those co-op things where it's going to be like chaos a lot of the time, but then we're going to get good at it, and then we're going to hate people who aren't good at it.
Yeah, that happens a lot, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
So it'll be fun. We'll talk a little bit more about it in the news section. But I'm going to take the reins here because there's a couple things that directly impact me.
Oh, this impacts your life.
So, Majora's Mask 3D and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate come out on Friday, February 13th, alongside the new 3DS XL, which we'll also be discussing in a little bit. These games I will be picking up. Probably Majora's Mask on day one, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate a little later. I played Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate's demo, by the way, Neil. I've never been into a Monster Hunter game. I'm into this one. So, I'll be picking that up. It's just like, I don't even know how you could describe it.
Like, let me take a guess, because this is what I think it is, and I'm not sure, so you can correct me. It's kind of like, it's you and, like, you play co-op with other people. It's like you have a little group party, right?
Yeah, you have a co-op.
So,
it's 4 people in a group together.
And you basically have essentially a boss you kind of have to find.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can, like, isn't there, I don't know how much tracking there is to it, but aren't there things you can do to, like, make the fight easier?
Yeah, you can, like, hinder, if you, like, attack their legs and they can't get away as easily. And
so, like, there's all these, like, little,
points.
like, tweaks to each boss fight. So it's not like you just go in to fight, like, oh, this guy flies. It's, like, little...
It's a collection of, like, 400 boss fights, Like,
Okay.
you have a central hub, and you got, like, your party, and then, like, you talk to people, and they put you on a quest, and they're like, hey, like, I need so-and-so. And you're like, well, in order to get that, I'm going to have to kill this boss, and this boss. And you go out, and you do the 3 boss battles, and you bring it back, and they craft those things into a new item. It's very, like, gear-based, there's random drops and all that. And, I don't know, it's just fun. It's just cool, like, having a 4-person co-op game on a 3DS, just playing.
It sounds like a game that could easily be on any other system, and people would play it. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like a 3DS game. It sounds like...
Well, I mean, Monster Hunter 3 was on the Wii U as well.
Okay.
With these online capabilities, but Monster Hunter 4 so far is only on the 3DS, so we'll see. I'm assuming it'll come to the Wii U eventually with some pressure from Nintendo, because Nintendo, is like, hey, like, we need games for the Wii U, so...
They need to do a lot of things.
So that looks pretty fun. There's also a special edition new 3DS exclusively at GameStop with a little Monster Hunter 4 branding on it. So if you're a big fan, I'm sure you've already got that pre-ordered. But, my main thing is Majora's Mask 3D, which I'm really excited for. I've never played Majora's Mask before. I've played almost every other Zelda game, so I'm excited for it. I hear they added some very necessary updates to it other than just the graphical engine, like a save state system where you can save anywhere, and like a little quest book that wasn't in the first one, so you can't really get lost, So
yeah, I played the first one and I do like it, and I don't know how highly I rank it. People are starting to say Majora's Mask is like their favorite Zelda. I wouldn't say that. It's different. It really does a lot of cool things, and it's very different from the other ones. And the save thing has always been weird, because you had to go to, it was an owl statue basically.
Yeah.
And you had to run up to, and you had to save at those particular statues. And I think it had to do with the time. Like, I honestly, I don't know why it was like that when every other game was not like that. But, so they fixed that, which is great. And the notebook thing that you're talking about is helpful, because there's a lot of side quests that have to do with very specific times. Like, there's one that's very confusing where, like, this kid will come out of a door and he will go to the mailman and he'll check the mailbox at, like, 11 a.m. And you have to meet him between those 15 minutes, and then you have to get that letter. You have to run it to somebody else who only comes out of the door at, like, 4 p.m. So, like, it was very hard to keep track of all that. I even remember writing stuff down myself, like getting my own notebook out, because it's all very specific time-based stuff. And so if you can do that in-game, it's going to save a lot of time.
Yeah, that's what it seems like it's going to be, which will be good. I'm looking forward to it, just never playing it and hearing a lot about it. And
yeah, I'm actually a little jealous that you get to play it for the first time.
Yeah, I know, get to experience something for the first time. So it feels like the very first time. All right, on that note, we will move on to our very special Valentine's Day week segment. This is called It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right. 2 or 4 players, I guess.
You want to sing that part? You sung the other?
It takes 2 to make a thing go right.
Thank you. Okay, now we can go on.
So these are me and Neil, 3 of our favorite co-op games, in no particular order, that would be perfect to play with your sweetheart this Valentine's Day. So, I'll start off with one of my favorite games ever, being Borderlands 2. which is just a great game in co-op. I put it on the list just because I played the entire thing through 3 times in co-op mode, split screen, and it's one of my favorite experiences ever. It's just really fun, when a good gun drops, the arguments you have over, which is perfect for Valentine's Day, is starting an argument. The arguments that you have over like the gun drops and who gets it and all that. It's a fun game. I'm sure everyone's played it, but it's one of my favorite co-op games. So, what do you got for us, Neil?
The first one I'll mention is also another lovely game to play, and you'll never fight or argue during the whole thing. It's called Portal 2, and it is one of the greatest co-op games, I believe, because you need to get past everything. You need to use teamwork.
Yeah.
And we've all been in that situation where one person's talking and you just like, you see the puzzle and you're just like, no, stop.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing?
And then you just like go over there, and you make them do all this stuff for like 5 minutes and it just doesn't work out. And then they just berate you for the next 10 minutes of how wrong you were. And it's just the greatest game. I actually played this Portal 2 with our good friend Pat, and we just, I don't know, I don't want to say his last name, but I assume you know who I'm talking about.
I do know who you are.
And we played this for a good few hours, and it was a lot of fun, and
it's great. Yeah,
it got a little intimate between me and him.
No, did you cuddle while you played?
Well, that's it. There was only one bed. It was in the dorm room.
Oh, true. I remember that dorm room. I was there many times. That's a great game. I love the 2 little characters, like the short guy, the short stumpy guy, and the tall skinny one that you play as when you're doing the co-op.
Yeah, for a game that I don't want to say it doesn't have a story, but it's got so much character to it and charm, and a game that you wouldn't really expect it to, and a lot of it's just the well-written like script and stuff, but the way they act, like the high-fiving and stuff like that, it's great. It's such a fun game. It
is a great game. And also, that's actually a good game, I think, to play on Valentine's Day. And brings you closer to your sweetheart. Number 2, I got Hyperdimension Neptunia Sister Generation. No, I got Rainbow Six Vegas 2, which made my list because of the terrorist hunt mode, which I played countless hours with my best friend throughout high school, which was pretty much just you would take a multiplayer map and it would spawn between 30 and 45 terrorists, and you would pick a difficulty, and you just, go through the game co-op, trying to take it or clear the map of them. But it was just a lot of fun because, it required a lot of precision, as most Rainbow Six games do. Rappelling down walls and swinging through windows and picking people off at silencers, and it was great. I mean, when you got good at it, if you had some good communication, you could clear an entire casino of 45 terrorists and never alert anyone. So it's a fun game. Played that tons and used to play it online co-op too. So if you have like a PS3 sitting around, it's probably I can literally vouch for how much it is at GameStop because I bought it a year ago while I was home for Christmas break with my friend to play. It is 49 cents. So go to your local GameStop and pick up Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
I've seen gameplay of it.
It's so fun. Yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun. It can look really tough, and
it holds up extremely well.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It does a cool thing where it's like a third person when you're attached to walls, but first person when you're just moving or whatever.
And it's really it's a fun game. I never have a bad time playing it, and it's couch co-op. There's nothing better. It's yelling at your friend when he steps out from a doorway and alerts the guys. So it's a good time. So yep, that's my number 2. If you see there's a theme going on here, all 3 games have been sequels. What do you got for us now, Neil?
My next game up is called Trine 2.
Oh, another sequel.
Another sequel.
You know why, Neil?
Because
it takes 2 to make a thing go right.
It does indeed.
It does. That actually speaks very well of the video game industry because a lot of first games suck and the second ones get it right.
Yeah, because they just fix everything they did wrong. Generally,
so it physically does take 2 things to make it.
The only thing I like more about the first one is it's a little more challenging, but the second one is more. It's just like a more developed game, like we talked about. Like they took everything that was wasn't full on the first game, and they just like, oh well, we can do more with this game, and it's just a really fun game. I played it with both my brothers. This is the first game.
It's actually up on the YouTube channel if you're listening.
There is. We did a recent one of Trine 2 Complete Edition, and there's just some It's all one video, but it's basically highlights of us being really, really terrible at it. And
and I watched it. It was fun.
it's a fun game. It's a very pretty game.
And I'm not biased at all.
At all. Well, and this is the first game that I ever paid. Not paid for a game. I mean, downloaded like a $15 game. I never used to do that. Like Steve can attest, it took me so hard to get DLCs for stuff. And Trine was the first game that I actually was like, you know what, I'm just going to spend $15 and get this game. And I played it with my brothers, and we absolutely loved it the whole time. It just has these hilarious moments where you just mess up, and you basically try to kill each other every now and then, because it's not that serious. You just like come back and but it can get like very difficult and very challenging. And it's one of those games that it takes a lot of teamwork, and it's best played with 3 people. If you have 2 people, it's not nearly as good. If you have the full party, you can only have up to 3 people, but that's the best way to do it. But it's one of my favorite games. I got enough where I got it again on the PS4 because I love it so much.
We played it. I wasn't a big fan, but I could see how it'd be a lot more fun if you're in the same room together, as is most games. So
yeah, and it's just one of those games that it's a good local couch co-op game, which is what I'm thinking about for Valentine's Day. You want a nice, of course,
because you want to hold hands during the loading screens,
Oh, absolutely.
Or do more than hold hands. All right. So my last game I have here is Left 4 Dead 2.
Another sequel.
Another sequel. We are 5 for 5 so far, and I don't think anyone's going to ruin that, right, Neil?
I don't think so.
Which is funny because the makers of Left 4 Dead 2 is also the developer of Evolve, which comes out this week. So just a fun game. I just love it. I played online with 3 of my friends and going through like the little scenarios, and I don't know. I mean, everyone knows what Left 4 Dead 2 is about for co-op. It's just one of the best co-op games ever made, which is why the original hype behind Evolve was so high, because they really know how to make a good cooperative, let's communicate and do something other than just shooting people like in a COD game. So it's a fun game. You can get it on this if you've never played it. Get it on a Steam sale for like $2.49, I think is the lowest it goes on those, and you're getting a ridiculous deal because at this point it's got like 15 different scenarios, which are each 4 chapters long. So we played it, Neil. We had a good time.
Yeah, when I got my new computer, which could finally handle anything more than a Word document.
Yeah,
that was the first thing I got. We found a deal where I got both games and the beta or some mod or something for like $7, and it was a lot of fun.
They're fun.
I was so bad at it. I wasn't playing with Steve during this part, but I was so bad at it that I kept shooting my teammates, and the guy literally told me to shoot the wall next to me, and I'll be doing more help by just not shooting them. That's how bad I was at it.
I just remember you didn't know what the boomer bile was, which is the bait, and you threw it at me, I believe. And I just got swarmed, and I was like, Neil, what are you doing?
Well, people expect you to know everything. They go like, oh, there's a boomer nearby. Oh, there's a spitter. Like, they just say these terms. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I just seeing a bunch of zombies, and I can't do Twitch. I can't shoot on a laptop or on a PC. My mouse goes all over the place, so I just shoot all my teammates.
And there's friendly fire in that game.
There is, and that's why the guy told me to shoot a wall.
So, Left 4 Dead 2 is a great game. You should play it. And for our 6th and final game. That was my attempt to be like a little sexy Valentine's Day.
I liked
voice.
it. It
nice.
worked for me. So mine is Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. So this is technically the sequel to the first Black Ops, because it's not World at War.
Okay.
Which, by the way, before we get into that, did you read about the little trivia of how zombies got started?
I saw the real presentation, but I don't really, know.
There was that they originally, when they were making World at War, since it was like, I don't know, like the 4th World War II game they made.
Yeah.
All the developers, like all the people who were literally making and coding the game were like really bored, and they weren't motivated at all. And so the supervisor was like, well, why don't you mess around and make something fun if you want to do it? So they came up with a zombies mode where you're locked in a house and you're shooting a bunch of zombies trying to survive. And it sounded really dumb, and they were like, no, and they sat the supervisor down, and he played it, and he was like, this is amazing. And he took it to the publishers, to Activision, and he was like, listen, we got this great zombie game. They want to do this. And they're like, no, we're not doing a zombie game. That's just dumb. Mm-hmm. And they made him sit down. The publishers played it, and they're like, this is incredible. but they needed to do the World War II still, so that's how they were like, we'll just make it a game after you beat the campaign, make it a little mini game. You'll just do one level, and you'll just call it Nazi Zombies, so it's World War II still. And that's how it came about, and then it just took off so much. It's literally, it started the whole co-op kind of thing. You know, like there were some missions in Modern Warfare, but then now you got the extinction mode.
Mm-hmm.
Because
we had a lot of fun with in Ghosts.
Yeah, which that was that was the main reason we got those DLCs.
Yeah, really, and then we just said fuck the last one. So.
Yeah, but even the third one, when we beat it the first time, we just never went back.
Because we did go back, but we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it was too hard. But anyway, so Call of Duty Black Ops, I absolutely the zombies. The second one, I absolutely loved being in that mansion and being the presidents. Is some of the greatest, funniest parts, I think.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
whatever reason. And I would get
that one's in the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And it was just one of those games that it could be fun, even if you were bad at it. It was kind of like chaotic and fun. But if you got really good at it, and you got with a person or a team that was really, really good, and you could just get in those loops where you just go never ending, and you could just see how far you could get. And I would remember going into school and talking with other people, and they'd be like, "Oh, I got to like level 23, or I got to level 25," and that was the thing.
Bullshit.
Yeah, like that was the thing you talked about.
Yeah, it's like comparing each other's dick lengths.
Oh, absolutely, just the same thing. And
also at lunch, that's where that occurred.
And so it's the perfect game for Valentine's Day, because not only are you shooting zombies, which is what everyone knows happened. Saint Valentine back in the day killed zombies and prevented the world from being taken over. That's how the day got started. And it's just a fun game, another co-op game. It's fun couch co-op. You can play online, but I think it's a lot better. I think every game is better if you're playing on a couch with somebody else.
Because how else are you going to play footsie?
Absolutely. Steve, you're so on point tonight.
I know. So, if you're looking for something to do with your sweetheart, there's 6 games. All of them being last gen, although you can play Trine too on the PS4 and the Xbox One. But go play them. I'm sure you got a PS3 or an Xbox 360 lying around if you're not me. So, maybe fire that up, and if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, unlike me. So,
Steve,
if you have
what about me?
Well, if you have an Xbox 360 and you have a girlfriend, you really got I'm 0 for 2 and you're 2 for 2. So congratulations.
I was saying we were together, but okay.
You're so alone.
Okay.
So let's hit some news. On the brighter note, I love talking about some new 3DS XL. That's my favorite thing. It comes out on Friday. Friday, everyone.
Are you getting it the day it comes out?
I'm getting it. Oh, let me tell you a story, Neil.
Okay, go on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you.
So you got 4 options. You could be a loser, and you can go for the red one or the black one, which will be in abundance. You could probably pick them up anywhere on day release. You won't have an issue. It's $200. Go have a ball. Or you could have pre-ordered the Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate Edition, which is silver with a blue design on it, from GameStop exclusively. You could have been one of the lucky few to be able to pre-order a Majora's Mask Edition, which is gold and has the mask, the Skull Kid mask, correct?
The Majora's Mask?
Yeah, Majora's Mask. I've never played it.
I think you should guess what it is.
On the top of a gold, it's gold plated and black inside. So if you didn't get those pre-orders for the Majora's Mask Edition and you want one, here's your option. You gotta be at Target at 8 a.m. Guess who's gonna be at Target at 8 a.m. on Friday?
You gotta be kidding me.
I'll be at Target at 8 a.m.
Did you take the day off?
No, I'm just gonna go into work 30 minutes late. So
okay.
There's literally a Target across the street from me.
Oh, perfect.
So I'm just gonna get there. I'm going to get there at like 7:45, just get in line. They're going to open the doors. I'm going to sprint over, and I'm going to grab one off the shelf. And I actually have been told that I need to get one for my coworker who sits with me. So he also wants one. So I'm attempting to get 2. But
really?
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see it's got bigger screens, the new 3D, Amiibo support, which is huge for me.
Oh my God.
By the way, my Lucario amiibo came today, so I got another.
What amiibo?
Lucario. He's a Pokemon.
Oh, man.
And it's gonna be great. And I'm gonna sell my old one on eBay. So if anyone out there wants a silver 3DS XL with the Mario Luigi laser etching on it, limited edition. Please let me know because it can be yours for the low price of $165. So,
I was. You had me there for a second until the price.
well, it's still cheaper than any other XL you're gonna get.
That's probably true, but I still don't want a 3DS yet. Someday, I'm hoping when these new ones come out.
Codename Steam.
When these new games come out, that they're gonna price drop again. The old
ones. No, yeah. I think the XL is already dropping. Actually, I'm actually going to be asking like $140 for it because I think the new XLs are dropping to $165. So,
yeah,
which is what happened when the XLs came out to the regular sized ones. The regular ones dropped to like $165, and the XL took the $200 spot. So
yeah. So I mean, that's when if I'm going to get a 3DS, that's probably going to be the time I get it.
Well. I mean, the backlog games you have now is ridiculous. Good luck catching up.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I don't have time. I barely have enough time. I haven't beat Dying Light yet.
I beat Dying Light. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting. And speaking of Majora's Mask, Zelda, Netflix, it's happening.
Oh, baby.
It might happen.
I was going to say, is it happening or it might happen?
It might happen. I mean, they're talking about it. Nintendo signed off to it. I think it's happening.
I think it's happening. I think they released it and like, let's see what happens. If people are like, no, never do this, but everyone's so excited. I think, okay, we have to do this now.
And then a side note, maybe you can watch this in 4K from your console because that might be coming soon.
Possibly. Too. Netflix has reported that they were in talks with Sony and Microsoft, and it wasn't like a hard stone like deal or whatever.
Yeah,
they were like a little soft talk.
Is that a phrase? A hard,
a hard stone deal. I think it was trying to say written in stone.
So we have slap in a punching bag with slabs of meat. Fly this thing into the night and wing it off, or whatever I said last time.
I don't remember. I don't remember what you say.
And now we have hard stone deal.
It's a hard stone deal. Stones are hard, Steve. You have to.
They are hard. You know what else is hard, Neil?
Don't even.
Zelda. It's a good game. And it's something I'm looking forward to be watching.
Did you?
What?
Did you ever see? I'm sorry. Did you ever see that when they released an April Fool's Day video?
Yeah,
saying that there was a Zelda movie. It looks so good. And I was like, they're gonna come out with a Zelda movie, and then it turned out to be an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
And what if that's what this is?
No. Do you even know what month it is, you dumbass? It's February. This is real, Neil. It's happening.
I'm really excited.
If I had to guess, it'll come out like just before the Wii U Zelda comes out. That would be my guess, because Wii U Zelda is supposedly coming in this fall, but let's all get real and say it's going to come out next spring or something.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for this. It's like a family-friendly Game of Thrones is what they're aiming for, which is fine with me. It doesn't have to be bloody. Zelda's never been bloody, so...
I think it's going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be awesome, too, especially if you see it. I believe it'll be set on the new realm, which is being covered in the Wii U one.
Ooh.
With, Link is very acrobatic, and, the map is huge, and there's all these different weather sections and everything, so...
I can't wait. I'm so excited for it.
I'm very excited, too. But Neil hates Nintendo, but he's still excited.
But either way, even if this, I'm hoping it does well.
Yes.
And then I'm hoping... Netflix is just like, okay, what other video games can we just adapt? You know what I mean? Because there are so many amazing ones out there.
Uncharted.
I think Uncharted would be great. But people are always debating who should play him. I'm starting to think Chris Pratt would be perfect to play him.
Chris Pratt would be a good if he was able to dye his hair. But see, now the problem is Chris Pratt looks like he's going to be the new Indiana Jones, and you already have too many Indiana Jones Nathan Drake comparisons going on. So
I'm completely fine with that. I mean, I don't know if you know who Nathan Fillion is. I assume you do.
Yeah, he looks just like him.
I think he would be perfect.
My out of left field suggestion has always been Mark Ruffalo.
Oh God, no. Seriously?
Why no Mark Ruffalo?
Oh God, no! I barely like him in anything he's in.
But I think he resembles Nathan Drake.
It doesn't. I don't care if he looks like him. I want him to act like him. Naturally. Mark Ruffalo has a whole Mark Ruffalo twist on all his characters that are just Mark Ruffalo in a different character.
Mark Ruffalo is also a little old to play him. He's 50 years old.
A lot of these people are too old.
I'm sending you a picture right now.
Oh God.
That needs to be seen, if I know how to use chat on Skype here, and you tell me that does not look like Nathan Drake. I'll put the link in the description. Okay, well, all the pictures showed up. No, they didn't. It'll work. I'll put this picture in the description.
I'm getting to it.
So that's always been my suggestion for Nathan Drake, but I can't see Mark Ruffalo.
No. Dude, like the gray hair, the gray beard, what?
Yeah, but look at the shirt he's wearing.
Oh, he's wearing a blue shirt with a little
with a necklace. With a necklace, yeah. He's
Right.
Nathan Drake through and through.
Absolutely not.
All right. Well, that's my suggestion. Yeah, at least I was novel, not like, oh, Nathan Fillion should do it. Everyone says that. Of course he should.
Because he's perfect. That's why. No one says Mark Ruffalo because he shouldn't be doing it.
You know why? Because Mark Ruffalo's a diamond in the rough, Neil.
Oh, God.
God. Have you ever seen The Kids Will Be Alright?
No.
Well, he's good in that one. He was the Hulk.
Yeah, Edward Norton was a better Hulk.
He was the Hulk.
All right. So, Steve, have you heard?
Yeah.
Xbox One. They're finally getting screenshot capability.
Perfect. I can screenshot pictures of Mark Ruffalo as I watch all his good movies.
It's worth noting just because I had no idea they didn't have it until today.
Yeah, I know. The PS4's had this forever.
Literally forever.
Literally since its inception.
Yeah.
Which is a movie that does not feature Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, but that's good for them. Take your screenshots, especially with all these photo modes that are in games these days. That'll be exciting for those X-boners.
Yeah, which I absolutely love being able to do stuff like that. I mean, it's helpful for me because, like, I've talked about before, where I write reviews and stuff like that, and it's so useful to get a screenshot of, like, specific things I'm talking about, and you're starting to see that in more reviews, especially Kotaku is doing it like crazy now. They're like, they'll say a sentence and then show a picture and then be like, and check compare it to this, and they'll do another picture. And so it's made it so much easier. And now that Xbox is finally getting it, I can't believe it took them this long. It's worth mentioning that they are finally caught up once again to the PS4.
Conspiracy theory here. Because Xbox always has a lower resolution than, or used to, they're kind of catching up now because people are learning it. Do you think that maybe they held this feature back to get rid of those comparisons until they felt comfortable that the resolutions were close enough on the two games that there wouldn't be that much of a difference?
I think the comparisons could happen either way, as they do. And the Xbox One, it's like it's all about the game, and half the games are being held to like 720 anyways.
Yeah. I'm just being a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, no, you're throwing out theories like Mark Ruffalo should be Nathan Drake, and no one's taking it seriously.
That's not a theory. It's a fact, and you'll see. You'll see. You want to make our second bet? Our first is that the new Borderlands is Border Worlds. The second one could be that Mark Ruffalo is going to play Nathan Drake at some point.
What was my side on that first one? Didn't I agree with you?
No, you took my side, but you're going to owe me $5 regardless.
Oh, is that what's that? We made a legitimate bet one time. And I can't remember what it was.
We did.
We made a $1 bet about something. And I literally have no idea what it is. And what's going to happen is when that time comes, we're both going to remember it because they're going to be like,
it's probably very important.
Yeah, it's something that's going to happen like 3 years from now.
So it's you losing your virginity.
Yeah. Good one. Way to clap and blow out the mic. Steve, you know what's going to happen 3 years from now? Persona 5. Hopefully sooner. But that was the best.
Beard?
Give yourself another 10.
Oh, God. All right, yeah, Persona 5. I'm starting 4, so I have 3 years to finish it, apparently.
Yeah,
You're telling me.
Let's hope it comes out a little bit sooner than that.
Well, it'll come out in Japan, then they gotta localize it. I'd probably be able to play it sooner if I learned Japanese than if I just waited for them to localize the stuff.
There's a lot of games that I wish, honestly, I could, if I knew Japanese, I'd play them faster, like Valkyria Chronicles 3, which is still not localized at all. But that's actually the only one I want to play.
So, there's a lot of games, and there's
just a whole lot of games, Steve. But
the trailer looks cool.
It looks really cool. I like what they went for. They have that. I don't know if you ever played Catherine, but it's got that kind of It's got the animation style, but it's still like 2D. So it's like it's doing. I'm liking that it didn't just go like all like modern day 3D. It's still keeping that aesthetic that people really like about it, and while it's still doing its creative little flair that it's also known for. But it looks like I haven't played any Persona games besides Persona 4 Arena, which is just a 2D battle game. It's not really.
I haven't played a Persona game.
Yeah, so I really don't consider it. Like the only thing is like there was a mystery, there was a long story, but it wasn't really a Persona game. So I do want to play Persona 4 at some point. Maybe I will, probably not. I'll probably go right into Persona 5. but I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a fun game, wacky and
look like it'll
crazy,
be
and
fun.
just
From what I gathered from the beginning of Persona 4, they seem like good games, which goes along with all goes along with all the reviews. So, sorry, I momentarily forgot how to speak. So, yeah, it looks good. So we gotta torque through these last couple stories kind of quickly, but we can touch on them.
Okay.
The first is just being that Evolve is going DLC crazy.
Going a little insane with it, Steve.
And despite all the backlash, CEO Zelnick, which I'm guessing is his last name, of Turtle Rock Studios, is that the right? No, Turtle Rock, yeah.
2K?
I get Turtle Rock, I get 2K, yeah. Why? I was thinking, I thought it was a studio, but I get on a side note, I get Turtle Rock and Turtle Beach.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Well,
It's both turtles.
Rocks are on beach. Rockaway Beach. That's a beach in New Jersey. Hey, so
Just talking about moving through these topics quickly. Let's talk about where the beach is.
The CEO said that controversy is a good thing, which is dumb, Neil. You hear me? What is it, Neil?
It's dumb.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm on Reddit today. Like, I'm getting all excited for Evolve. I'm reading, let me read this. It's just a shit party in Reddit right now. Why would you support this goddamn game? They're killing you, man. And it's killing my buzz. And I could see that actually very strongly hurting sales. Really, I could. Because, if I have been waiting for Evolve since it was announced, and then the day before it's released, go into those things, and I see all these negative comments, it made me start to research the game more and be like, is this really something I want to buy? So I'll be interested to see.
It's absolutely bad press. Zelnick is crazy. Like, controversy, obviously you're talking about it, but the thing is, people were already talking about Evolve, so you didn't have to get more hype about it. Everyone was already hyped, and now they're just getting less hyped about it. And we already hate DLC. We like DLCs in some regard.
We like DLCs
if they provide more content. But wait, if it's
it's just characters.
If it's like Last of Us, where the DLC stuff is all new guns that are more powerful, it puts other people at an advantage. And from what I've seen in Evolve when I played it, characters have different techniques and skills, so it's not just a skin. So you could be buying a better character, and that's what they're trying to get you to do. And there's I think 8 different options, and they all range from like $60 to $100. Pre-ordering,
it's insane.
And then there's if you don't do it and you wait later, you can buy each hunter for $750 individually. You can pay $30 and get them all together. There's all this. They're basically maxing out as much as possible. They're maxing out as much as possible to get.
The guy not allowed to cough around here.
I'm just trying to say they're trying to get the most bang for their buck, and it's actually gonna probably backlash a little bit because I think they're not going to get it anymore just out of principle.
I just get in here and say, do you know how you get the most bang for your buck?
How do you do that, Steve?
Get them a dough. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. And do you have anything else on that topic, or should we move on?
We should probably move on.
Okay, so Steve, can you believe it or not? I'm forgetting what the raid is called, but in Destiny, the raid. No.
New one.
Let me look it up. Crota's End. Crota's End. A team beat it without firing a single shot.
These are what I call the biggest losers on the face.
More than the Tetris Grandmaster?
Yeah. Worse than the Tetris Grandmaster. You're playing a bad game.
Not subjective. You're not having fun with this game. No, you don't like this game. This is a bad game you're playing.
You're playing a bad game. But Neil, what's the only redeeming quality of Destiny? It's got good gunplay.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you were going for a joke there. That was like a legitimate, serious answer.
I like how it's just silent for a few seconds. It's like, that just tells you how bad Destiny is. You couldn't even think of one thing. You took out the one good thing about Destiny, the gunplay. You're like, there's no fire weapon. Like, cool, you got some press for it. You also massively wasted your time. I got a friend for you. His name's the Tetris
oh my god,
Grandmaster. And you can join him, and you can say, hey, we play video games for no reason. Thanks. Hey, nice to meet you. How you doing today? Word to your mother for me. I'm not impressed. Are you impressed, Neil?
I'm not impressed because I know it's a very hard raid, but it didn't seem impossible to me because I saw a quick clip of it. And
Okay.
the Titans had these shields that people can't go in, or if they go in, they're really weak, and so they just kept throwing down shields
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
just meleeing people. So it's not like they didn't kill anyone. Like it's not they
Yeah,
killed
they
people.
didn't
They had
just like run
shields.
by.
Yeah. So and the thing and the way you beat the bosses in that game is you have to pick up a sword and you kill them with a sword. So
Oh,
yes, so it's not like they had to like melee the boss until he died. You pick up the sword and you hit him with a giant sword. That's the only way to damage him. So it's impressive, but at the same time, it's not like out of this world. It's no Tetris Grandmaster, is what I'm trying to say.
no, it's worse. It's worse than that. But I'm not impressed. Another week, another person doing something that's stupid. What else is new? Welcome to the world. All right, Neil. Let me ask you something. What
Okay.
have you been playing these days?
So over the weekend, Square Enix or Onyx or whatever, I still have never known what that is.
It's Enix. How would it be Onyx? How would it ever be Onyx?
Square Onyx over the weekend had a pretty crazy Steam sale where they
Yeah.
released almost not all the early Final Fantasies, but I think they did like two, 3, 7, 8.
2378. Okay,
So
so
four of them.
So the prime numbers, other than 8.
And then they also did like Tomb Raider and Just Cause collection, Just Cause, and
Yeah.
it's like all their popular games. Thief was in there, but they kind of shunned that to the side. And there was some really
Hey, Thief's not here, guys. That game never happened.
and so Final Fantasy VIII is one of my favorite
Yeah.
games of all time. I played it a long time ago, not when it first came out on the PS2, but I went back and played it.
Nice.
And so I was like, I haven't played this game in years. I'm gonna get it, and I gotta pay like I think like $4 for it, like something that if you found
Something
it,
worth it.
if you found it in a store today, it would probably still be like $40 or $50. It's one of those games,
It's one of those.
and so I won't go too long into detail about it. But the way to play this game is that every Final Fantasy has like a super powerful move that a character can
Yeah.
do, and it's unlocked by either like you take too much damage or you have to build this bar up by attacking, like whatever. In Final Fantasy VIII, it's whenever the character's health is low in the yellow, he can do this. So you
Yeah.
leave one character in the yellow the entire game, and he just does a super move over and over and over again.
You just spam that move.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you do is you get the best weapon in the game within the first like 2 hours of it, 2 hours of the story. And to do that, you have to play cards. It's like a mini game. So I played cards for about 10 hours in that game. I haven't done anything else. I just got what I needed to get.
You got your $4 worth already.
So I played cards for like 10 hours. You have to get this rare card 20 times. I got that. And now I can finally play the game. And it's just going to be a piece
See,
of
now you're ready to go.
Now I'm ready to go. But it's one of my favorite games. I'm really excited to play it. I'm probably going to play it once we're done with this podcast.
Good. I'm looking forward to that for you. And obviously you've been playing Dying Light. Which I can cover in my what have I been playing?
Is that all you've been playing?
I've just been playing Dying Light, yeah, because I wanted to finish it before Evolve came out, and to get focused. I beat it. It's great. I really had a good time with it. I know in our first ever podcast we literally shit on this game.
It was so great.
I want to formally apologize. I gave it an 8, which also Neil gave it an 8.
I also gave it an 8.
We just love 8s. Neil's playing Final Fantasy 8. It's been 8 years since I've had a girlfriend.
I swear to God, I made that joke before. So, but the thing about because it's not a perfect game. We're not saying it's the greatest game of all time. It's been done before. It's the same combat kind of thing. But it's well done. It's a lot of fun. The story, Steve kind of likes it. I don't like it at all.
I like the story. You haven't finished it. The ending's good.
I don't believe that.
Spoiler alert, it ends. Also, there's a New Game Plus mode. I was very surprised by that.
I am too, but that makes it. I love New Game Plus. I think if you put New Game Plus in any game, people will automatically replay it at least once.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting, and I could see myself, down the line, especially when the DLC comes out, because I know that we both purchased the season pass.
Yeah. Well, once we played Dying Light and we found out how amazing it was, we decided we might as well just get this season's pass and go for it.
Yep, that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. That's
how it happened, and anything else you hear is a lie. So, Yeah, so I gave it an 8. I'm really excited that it was good. I'm excited that it was good.
You're
All right,
excited that it was good.
let's wrap this thing off and sail it into the night.
Oh man, as long as it's hard and stone.
So, thank you for joining us for the third ever Qualified Gamer Guys podcast. If you'd like to be abreast of when we are streaming, follow us on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/qualifiedgamerguys. You can follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/qualifiedggs. You can follow our YouTube. Hey, you're there. So hit the subscribe button. You'll get notifications whenever we post a video. And you can look at our playlist. We've got some really funny Dying Light videos. We've got some awesome Trying To videos, some walkthroughs, and just our podcast of me, Neil, SNES on every Monday night, posted on Tuesdays. So check us out. We'd love that. We have a blog somewhere. I don't even know where it is.
There is indeed a blog. If you are not satisfied with
Google
with YouTube's podcast version, you can find it on our blog.
On our blog. So we want questions. If you're listening, email us. We'd love to hear from you. I actually didn't even check the email this week, so I don't even know if anyone did email us.
I check it every day.
Anyway,
no one has emailed us.
No one emailed us. Okay. Well, thanks for saying that on air.
Now
we look like wieners. So email us at qualifiedgamerguys@gmail.com. Ask us a question. Give us a shout out. Tell us what you've been playing. Tell us what you like about us. Tell us what you hate about us. Send us a picture. Clothes have to be on. Send us a screenshot. Tell us something that you want us to plug. A game, and yeah, just hang out on our channel and have a good time. So, if you love our amazing theme song, help out my buddy. Go over to his SoundCloud at www.soundcloud.com/gearheadedm. Link will be in the description, as is all the links I've been mentioning in the last 2 minutes. It has come time for me and Neil to say goodbye on this joyous Valentine's week. And Neil, do you have anything else that you'd like to say to the people?
I just like hearing you talk.
And hopefully so do them. Thanks to everyone that listens. It really means a lot. And please tell your friends about it. Share it somewhere. Post it to Reddit so we don't get kicked off for doing so. And, just help us spread the word so we can still bring you this content, which we love to do. So, without further ado, Neil, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
All right. See us next Tuesday for another edition of the Qualified Gamer Guys podcast. And my last words for you are bingo. Bye-bye.